Hi, I'm Taylor Jade, Head of Social Media for SoBS, and I'm here with John Whitebrook, who's going to be answering some questions for us today. John, if you just want to introduce yourself.
My name is John, and I'm a volunteer in a couple of SoBS groups in London, the Central London group and the West London group based in Ealing, and I am also a trustee with a charity.
Okay, I'm going to just go straight into the first question, which is, how has being part of the Survivors of Bereavement by Suicide community impacted your life, both personally and in your role as a volunteer?
For me, SoBS was hugely beneficial in the early stages of my bereavement. The support and camaraderie made a huge difference. It was the only place where I felt people really got it. They understood what I was going through. And as a volunteer, it's been really good to give back and motivating when people show gratitude for what we do. It really makes, you feel good to know that you're making a difference in people's lives and helping them through probably the hardest thing they will ever face in their lives.
And also, what are some of the biggest challenges you've faced while supporting others through grief, and how have you overcome them?
I think in terms of volunteering within the peer support groups, the dynamics can be difficult to manage sometimes, as people occasionally, they need to vent. But you have to balance that against the needs of the group as a whole. So if you gently remind them that others need to speak, they're okay with that. It's also difficult when people are visibly upset at the close of meetings, but in that case, we take them to one side and talk to them individually, and the assist training that I think that most volunteers have been through at this point is very helpful in terms of what they call classically, are you all right for now? Making sure they're in a good place to go home and take care of themselves.
And going slightly off topic, if there was you was thinking about volunteering, do you have any advice for somebody who was about to go into it, just what to expect, or in terms of just what to expect, and any advice that you could probably give to them?
When I became a volunteer, I'd been attending the Central London group for a good while, and I think it's important that people attend group meetings because to get a sense of the dynamic and how the meetings work, and you sort of gain experience by osmosis just being in that environment. I think it better prepares you. It doesn't entirely try to prepare you. I think the other part of that advice would be, notwithstanding that, when you suddenly feel responsible for everybody else in the room, it changes your own personal dynamic, and that's more of a shift than you're necessarily ready for. It's not insurmountable at all, but it's just something I think people would be useful for them to be ready for that, because it does, if you're not tonight, wasn't quite, it hits you quite hard at first, and you suddenly feel on edge in an environment that you previously felt very comfortable in.
That's funny you should say that, because the lady I interviewed yesterday said the same thing when she first became a volunteer. She'd say obviously it brought up a lot of stuff for her as well at the beginning. When I asked her what advice would you give, she was like, it'd be great if you could join a group beforehand so you can understand the responsibility. But also there's so many perks to being a volunteer, because you have a great support network as well, and to see the people get the support and to help them is really rewarding.
Yeah, I think even when you become a volunteer, you still get benefits from attending groups and sharing, because I think part of being a volunteer is also still continuing to share experience, because it makes you as a volunteer relatable to the people who are coming along, especially new people to the group.
So the final question is, can you share a particular memorable experience or success story from your time volunteering that has stayed with you?
Not necessarily a single experience. Sadly, we get newly bereaved people coming along quite regularly. But given that, you can almost see a little burden lift from their shoulders when they realise that everything they're going through and is understood and shared by the group, so they no longer feel alone with their grief. People talk about things. They might feel anger. They might feel very strong emotions. They may feel that nobody understands exactly what they're going through, and then when they realize everybody around them shares that, yes, I remember that, I did this in that situation, and you could see them go, wow, this is incredible. I'm actually in an environment where everybody around me truly gets it.
And that's what we want as well. And even though I've not attended a group yet, which I'm really looking forward to joining, but just from the comments we get on social media about the volunteers, it is literally a lifeline for people, and just the impact it's had, especially with the world we're living in now. It's just honestly, it warms my soul just to see the comments of the work that you guys are doing as a community, and how much it just it is a lifeline to everybody. But on that final note, I just wanted to thank you so much for coming on today, and just for taking the time out and sharing your own experience as a volunteer. And I'm hoping that whether someone is thinking about volunteering or joining a group, it's nice for just a survivor to just see a friendly face, and to know that they're not just being volunteered by anybody. These are survivors themselves who've also been through it and understand. So, John, thank you so much for your time, and I hope this helps somebody out there.
Yeah, thank you. And it's correct opportunity. I think it's great that you're doing this, because I think, in your role, making this connection to people is very important for the growth of the charity. And one of the things we do struggle with, it's not necessarily related to questions, is just visibility and signposting, and people aren't aware. And, we try to get the message out there, but the reality is, until people are bereaved, that just washes over them. So the only way we can reach them is to frequently get the messaging out there, and just so it's impinging somewhere on their subconscious. And then, if and when maybe it pings again, or they dig a memory out, they go, I know where to go, where I can get help.
Yes.
And I think it's very important. So all the efforts you're doing are vital for us.
Oh, thank you so much, John.